Get Wrecked is a vehicular combat game mode for Arma 3. Think Twisted Metal plus Gary's mod plus Arma 3. That was my first impression from it. Here's a description from their website. Get Wrecked challenges players to create, customize, drive, survive, and of course destroy. Construct wheeled armored behemoths using a variety of building parts, then fight to the death in a raised zone of choice. It's a creative vehicle sandbox for Arma 3 multiplayer and a mod that's in an early alpha release state. It's currently designed for small games for up to 8 players. Alright, so here I am on Get Wrecked, and I am just through the lobby before the mission starts. And first thing I can tell you is that before you play this, make sure you disable all custom mods. If you have other custom mods enabled, it can interfere with your ability to play it, so just make sure you have everything disabled. You can see the different areas that it uses, the different zones, which we'll get to later. Downtown Kavala, the airfield, which is my favorite, the swamp, the salt flat, and the wasteland. So you get to see different areas of Altus as you go along. So here I am. In game, I've got my driver. Now I've created stuff before, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna walk up to any of these billboards. I can kind of just go along here. There's really no difference between any of those. I'll go back to my original. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna create something from scratch. Now, if I already had something here, I would go to load. I could show you a couple of my creations. I do have show script errors on, as you can see. This is an alpha, so you know, I can go along here and see. My method of naming my vehicles is a little bit interesting. But yeah, I'll just I'll load just a simple hatchback to start off with here. But if you were going to start out with, you'd go to create, and then each of the vehicles that you have unlocked will be there. And in order to unlock any vehicle, it requires a little bit of extra money. So I will select. We have our base vehicle. Now next we'll go up to one of these billboards and go to shop. You can sort by building materials, weapons, that sort of thing. Now I'm just going to assume that I have $400. That's what I have to start out with. Now the difference between any of these, if you read, is that they have discounts. So technically you could go up to each of these billboards and see, you know, what they have a discount on, which I never really did, but it's something that you could do. So we'll go here, and this is 25% off of weapons. Wow, what a bargain. So for this, you know, I kind of know what would work for this as far as building materials. I'm gonna go with a long sandbag. Curved sandbag. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Now how I'm doing this is you can double click and you can enter the quantity here, or you can just click on it and press 1 through 9. It says it right there, so that helps you. Alright, and I want a curved sandbag, and it's a little bit bugged out on that one, I guess. But let's sort by building materials. Let's actually hit 1 on that one. Oh, I've got another error there. But yeah, like I said, it is alpha, so some errors that you're going to expect to see. In fact, when you join the server, it says, "This is an alpha. Expect weird shit to happen," which could. True statement is true. Okay, looks like I got to back out and come back in. That's what happens when you do stuff live. That's okay. You guys will know kind of what to expect when you come in and play this mod. Yeah, every time I press 1 on that one, it doesn't seem to want to do it. Now, if you purchase multiple items, they may appear in your supply box here. We're just going to open it here. I'll hit remove on both since I'm going to use them right away. Now, where did my... Okay, my curved sandbag went there. Alright, so once you have the... Okay, so I should start over. Once you have the item in front of you, you have one option there. You can pick it up. So that's what that means. So you press spacebar or your middle mouse click. And then what I like to do here is rotate. So I'll select that and hit spacebar a couple times. Kind of line it up. You want to protect your vehicle as much as possible, because it can be damaged. Any part that's exposed can be damaged. So I'd probably want to use 2 of these per side. So let's attach that one. Now these are fairly cheap, and this works pretty well to cover the front. At least cover the bumper. So it doesn't matter how I do this. One thing to note is that you want to save your vehicle. You want to save it, so just remember to save. Now you can finish your vehicle up before you do it. So let's just say Gray Goblin. Okay, so I spent $50. Try to keep track. Let's purchase 3 more of those sandbags. Okay. And then we'll go with, I think it's the plywood barrier. Let's get 2 of those. So we've spent... Oh, you can even move your supply box around. That's cool. Okay, I bought the wrong things, but those will work. I will use that. I only wasted $10. These will actually kind of fit more my sandbag behemoth. It's not even a behemoth. Okay. Hopefully this video doesn't get to be too long for you guys. So see, I'm kind of repeating the process. If it gets to be too long, I'll speed up this part. Okay, rotate it too far. So rotate, and then it's pretty generous. So if you can see, you know, I could technically kind of put it inside the vehicle like that. It's really not going to make too much of a difference. You'll still be able to, you can still test drive it to see. Oops, I keep hitting spacebar. To hit Alt. You can kind of test drive it in this area. When you come back, make sure you're on the pad. It's not going to let you place items on it if you're not on the pad. Okay. Alright. And that's actually a terrible placement for that. I'm going to throw that right there. And I could technically, you know, you can still make use for items. I'll use those to cover the backside, cover my bum. Yeah. This is almost just as fun as, you know, customizing a new vehicle. I find is just as fun as the actual gameplay. It's just kind of cool seeing what you can come up with. The devs, we were playing with them. They came up with some really hilarious creations. You'd have to play with them to see. If you ever see SLI or Rezak, Rezak is one of the testers. SLI is the one of the devs for the mod. Nice people. Not when they're in game though. They're pretty Fierce. They know how to make a death machine. That's for sure. I asked them what their inspirations were. Apparently, SLI had played Twisted Metal Black on PS2, I believe, and that was his inspiration for this. My generation, it was Carmageddon on PC. He said he'd never played it before. I don't know if he'd even heard of it before. I'm going to attach one more long sandbag here. Actually, I need 2 more, don't I? Make 1 for each side. So let's count this up. So I got 100, plus those are 50, 200, 225. Okay, so I've got my vehicle, and I'll show you another tip here once I get these long sandbags. Well, those are only 40. Okay. Oops. Gotta get one more. I'm sure I made some errors, guys, as I was going along here in my purchasing process, but you get the point. I mean, if you get in game and get a couple more kills, if you waste a little bit of money, it's no problem. Especially if you kill an experienced player, you get more money. So that's a good point to make. When you kill someone, it factors in, you know, how long they've been alive, the value of the actual vehicle, to determine how much money you make. Okay, so you know, typically you'd want to have this front part covered as well. What they're saying is that, you know, you can't really damage the objects themselves yet. We are in alpha here, but yeah, anything that's exposed will be vulnerable to attacks. So let's add some weapons. And let's just keep in mind that when you make your vehicle, you might not be able to afford all of this. Okay, so a good starter weapon is the 50 cal. We're gonna grab that, rotate a little bit. Now I should really have my vehicle kind of centered, but well, you can turn on snapping for this. That's snapping. That's good, and that will snap it to the center. That's a good thing to do with weapons. Now you'll see that occasionally will happen with the vehicles when you're in this area. Okay, so we can just do that. Now with the car itself, if I can get to it, if you get to a point with the car, you get this up-down arrow. Now, once you do that, you can move your vehicle up, move your mouse up or down. This is so you can attach things to the bottom, and I'll show you why in a second here. And don't do that. Hey, don't run under the vehicle. It's no problem. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to attach some modules under here. We're gonna get a nitro boost. Is cheap and it's pretty much a necessity. Okay. Okay, and you can also see all the different things you can do here. Smoke generator, you can put out fires with that. Self-destruct system, that is pretty brutal. Vertical thruster works awesome with the cart. Let's see, deployables. There you go. Proximity mines are pretty lethal. You guys will just have to try out all this stuff yourself. Now, nitro boost uses fuel, so adding a fuel tank will help you with that. The rest of it kind of speaks for itself. Alright, so we're just going to kind of get this vehicle in the game, but yeah, I'm going to add, let's see, we're getting some errors with that. But if it doesn't work, just try again. There we go. Okay. Oh, looks like I have snapping on, which is cool. Yeah, you can put as long as it says object attach, it worked. Let's go ahead and put her down. We'll save it and we'll put it in game. So once you're ready to go into game, here's how you do it. Walk up to your terminal. If your vehicle is sitting in front of you and loaded, we will go to deploy. You choose from, I think it's 5 different locations. My favorite, the airfield. Get a little countdown. It looks like my guy, oh, is he actually in the vehicle? Okay, cool. You will be deployed. Make sure you double hit Alt with your camera. That way you have a free aim. Once my camera moves out a little bit, you can see my, oh, okay, there we go. Now I can, free to fire at will. And I forgot to bind my turbo key. That's one thing. So what I will do here is I will respawn. I will respawn and it auto-loaded my hatchback, which isn't the right thing. It's what it's supposed to do is auto-load the last vehicle that you had. But when you hit respawn, it kind of errors out a little bit with that. So the one thing that I forgot to show was how to bind your keys. So once you're here, we can actually see a little bit more about the vehicle. We can see that it has 1 of 3 weapons, 1 of 3 modules. Oh, you can see the stats too. I never actually looked at the stats. That's cool. So we wanted to, now when we look at the key bindings, we can double click and bind this. Double click, bind this. Q is a good button to use for that. Anything that works for you. You can rename the vehicle. Now this unflipped vehicle, I'm told that if you go into your controls and custom action 20, which I'll show you how to do that. Configure controls. Custom controls. Use action 20. You could bind that to something if you wanted to. Okay, so now we have that bound to Q. I could go in and deploy it, but I'm just going to show you, instead of showing you that one, I'm going to actually load one of my other vehicles. So I think we've got an interesting one here. We've got our little go-kart of doom, and I've got a vertical thruster, a fuel tank. Okay. Cool, cool. Q and E. Fair enough. Alright. So Q is my vertical, or Q is my nitro, E is my thruster. Vertical thruster. I can fly! It's pretty fun. That's pretty much it. And like I was saying, you know, once you've destroyed a couple of vehicles, you'll get some money. You'll be able to upgrade and choose those other vehicles under create and make your own death boxes. Yeah, it's really just about having fun. It's not a serious mod. I'm going to include some links for the mod and its creators, their Twitter and all of that in the description. If you guys get out there, enjoy. To the moon! Or as high as I can go.